Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to... Has anyone seen the bride and groom?
Sorry, we're here. We were getting lucky in the limo and we lost track of time.
No, Lucky Land Casino, with cash prizes that add up quicker than a guest registry.
In that case, I pronounce you lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Daily bonuses are waiting. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Well, still thinking. You know, on one hand, content creating is still interesting, and then on the other hand, you know, it makes you want to go ahead and sleep off the whole year. On one hand, still have to build something, but on the other hand, you know, that hammock's looking pretty good over there. Just weighing my options. But you know what? I can always rest easy once I get to Season 8 of this series. So let's pick it up then. Welcome to the J-Man Show here on
J360 Radio!
Judy was boring.
Hello.
Then Judy discovered ChumbaCasino.com.
It's my little escape.
Now Judy's the life of the party.
Oh, baby, mama's bringing home the bacon.
Whoa, take it easy, Judy. The Chumba life is for everybody. So go to ChumbaCasino.com and play over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, you know, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. That should brighten your day a little. Actually, a lot. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Hey, how's it going, J360 Legion? What is up? Welcome to the J-Man Show here for episode 284. I am your host, J-Man, of course, and it is year's end, baby! And it's finally the end of the year, the last week, you know, and I gotta say, looking back on everything, I would have had a clip show for you guys, but I figured why not? Because you know why? You can listen to all of Season 6 for that. Yeah, buddy. Don't you know how things are organized around here on J360 Radio? Anytime you look at a show, you see its archival episodes right there, and you can, listen to, any of them by season set if you want to or not, especially on Apple Podcasts. So, you know, all that stuff is cut right there. You don't need a clip show. Not right now, anyway. And I already did one for you during Monster Fest. I gotta say, looking throughout all of 2022, it's been pretty cool. You know, I can go ahead and summarize things. I had a good time with it. I had a lot of visions and a lot of things going down and a lot of things that I wanted to achieve, you know. I wanted to throw a J360 Productions feature at you this year. We didn't get to it, but I'll tell you this much. We did get to a lot of things. We managed to get to, you know, the big events like Gemiversary. We managed to do Gemiversary, Monster Fest. Kind of did something for the holiday a little bit, you know, came back strong that week. Let's just be honest here. Came back friggin' strong last week. And then, of course, with this week here being year's end, I mean, we managed to hold everything down and do pretty awesome things. And then not to mention, make a few plans for what to happen next year. Because if we didn't do anything to achieve this year, you know, the year that follows, that's plenty of time. And not to mention all the R&D, which I'm sure some of you that have been here along the way remember how May was R&D month and, utilize all that mad scientist tech that I got. and came up with a lot of good results from that. And then, like, a lot of you asked me about, like, how Hangouts was doing and if I'm going to do some more interviews. But you see, now that I have more space on the servers and all, I can actually go about doing that circumstance, which is why we actually do have the interview show, which is happening in January. You know what it's called, Project Conference. So that's something for you guys to look forward to on that. But yeah, man, I mean, looking back on it all, it's been pretty friggin' awesome and sweet even. I mean, even when some of the episodes where I nosedive into, like, society's ills and all sorts of things I have a problem with, or, like, you know, stand up against other content creators who go too far, the issue still remains the same, that, you know, my mission continues. Like, this is not the end of anything. This is just the start of a whole new beginning. And then not to mention what'll happen once, like, certain shows go to J360 TV and carry on the slack. You understand what I'm saying? Which is why I didn't want to throw too many things at you guys this last week. Like, you know, under normal circumstances, this would have been a Jams TV week. But, nah. I figured, you know, if anything, if we're really going to get the party of parties going, then we need to go ahead and cook it off in January. Because, I mean, like, what else happens in January if you think about it? Most of us are trying to pay off a few things from our credit card, or most of us are trying to go to the gym and, you know, get those 10 pounds off of us. Or, like, most of us are actually trying to just, I don't know, some people are crazy enough to say, hey, I need to get somebody before, like, February rolls around so I can go ahead and celebrate Valentine's Day. People are crazy like this, by the way, which I would like to go ahead for the record and say this. You know what? There's really no problem in being single. And I'll nosedive into that around, like, Valentine's Day time, you know, just to give some of you all out there some hope. Because here's the thing. You need hope. Hope is, like, the best, like, resolve and weapon you got against all this stuff around here. It's the best defense you have. You know? And when people take away your hope and faith, then you're a shell of yourself, and then you start going on to Tumblr and start writing all that well, actually, it ain't even Tumblr no more, is it? It's you go on to TikTok, and you go ahead and you give out your little 15 seconds of shame, but which, by the way, I was sitting there looking at some of that today. I was very, very hard, you know, like, ugh. You know what I mean? I was holding on to my Arizona tea, and I was like, damn, you got problems. Next. Because, you know, I had to keep following through and seeing, like, what certain people I know are doing, and then, like, certain randoms show up in there. And, of course, they're all sharing their whole sob story going in. But I'm like this, you know, here's the overall thing. In a small window of sadness that you may have, keep in mind it's a small window. It's just a little picture. It's what you're going through right now. And it might be the culmination of things you've been feeling throughout, like, a couple of weeks on end. I don't know. But I gotta say, you know, if you really want that bigger picture, you really want that new escape, and you really want all those cool things to happen for you, well, guess what? Look. Rest now, awaken later. I mean, it usually happens to Goku, right? Doesn't Goku get the crap kicked out of him now and again, but then he recovers and he gets better after a while because he needed that ass whooping? I mean, it happened to Vegeta too. I mean, if you think about it this way, you can recover and do cooler crap later, is what I'm saying. There's plenty of time to put on a great show and do all sorts of awesome things. That's why I'm never really worried about whether I do a bad show or not. Now, you hope to never do a bad show, and you hope to never have a bad day, but you're going to have them. You hope to never go through a breakup, but the thing about it is, if you've been through relationships and breakups like I have, you know, you just realize that the season for it is gone, and there's no real way of pulling that back. And then at the same time, you know, go away for a while. Don't be on the mic. Don't be on the videos and stuff. There's always a way of going about that stuff. When you're on the road to recovery, just think about it. It's called the road to recovery for a reason. And, you know, sometimes when you sit down on the sidelines and you're really, really tired out and stuff, that's time to rest. You know? Just like when I look at my hammock from time to time, and I'm like, you know what? This might not be the time to do this. Meaning it's not the time to rest. It's time to go ahead and run the race. You know what I mean? Like, if anything, you know, they didn't kill you. So you got to keep on going, and you're going to have to rebuild and make sure the stronger way of doing things. And then keeping your resolve strong. Like, you know, as we are on the horns of the new year, a lot of people are like, hey, don't claim it as your year. Don't do that. Don't do that. It's like, yeah, I think I am. yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and do this kind of stuff. I'm going to go ahead and do it my way. I'm going to go ahead and build this up, and I'm going to have some fun, and there ain't going to be no regrets at all. You know what I mean? It should be like that. And whether you meet somebody or not, I hope you know that Valentine's Day is not a deadline to meet somebody, much in the same way Christmas is not a deadline to do right by people and all that kind of stuff. Should have done right by people anyway. Should go ahead and work on trying to be approachable for people. And then, best relationships happen over time, not in one damn day. So, it's funny. It's just really, really, ironic is the term, right? Little things like that. But that's, the best advice I can give. But the funny thing is that, how people are so ashamed of their flaws or so ashamed of, not willing to take responsibility that they don't even know how to come to terms about doing things. Don't even know how to speak about doing things. And I'm always like, that's a damn shame, Because, see, for me, myself, I can look back on it and I can say, hey, look, I can see the part where I became a little bit more snobbier than usual. I can see the part where, ego's talking instead of me. I can go ahead and see, there are moments where I'm like, hey, guess what? I'm not feeling it. I'm phoning it in. I can see those moments, man. And even as I go about doing things now, it's just a new direction. It's not the end of the whole thing. Which is why, I'm anticipating as I made that last episode on the mini bites. Because this year, I'm going to do more epic things anyway. Lots more video content. Probably get that feature made. And you see, the only reason what the feature is because you got to think, when you make a movie, you got to think about the end in mind, okay? So, how am I going to get it out to all of you guys out there that have been anticipating this? If I'm going to go through, a third party or, somebody like Film Hub, then I got to make sure that person that's working at Film Hub is willing to work with me because you can get tied into a deal and they'll try to steal away your movie and stuff like that. There's a whole lot of crazy stuff with these distributors now. But I just want to say, once again, and it's not just a disservice to me, but it's damn sure a disservice to all of you out there. Which is why, you make sure you get your ducks in a row before you do anything. And then not only that, I was also taking a look at certain circumstances where people have elevated other people, namely you and me, who are really fighting to get where we need to be at, Regardless of who looking at us or not, we're still going to do us, right? Right. But I also seen, how some people who have been given a break, who have been given chances, who have been elevated up, and didn't contribute a damn thing, just stayed in the clique. See, that's one thing I don't want to be a part of right there. It should be about the work ethic, it should be about, what you're bringing to the table, and it should be about, are you building your own table and all that kind of stuff. But you see, certain people love a sob story, love to say they helped somebody along the way. And then at the same time, that person turns out to be really ungrateful or amplified to the point where, guess what? They're not going to do anything. Or they go ahead and they be around their new group and forget about the group that started with them. And from time to time, I know the group that starts with you, sometimes they don't finish with you. And then sometimes, you know what? They might not be there entirely about the mission as you are. But then there's that rare occasion where the ones that really, really believed in you were there the whole time too. That one person or those two people or three, sometimes you can get a good match of three that are there with you. They keep you going. They tell you that, you know what, hey, guess what? I don't like how you've changed. I don't like how, you saw dollar signs and all that kind of stuff and you became a whole different person. You know what I mean? Or the communication's been off, the disconnect has been apparent, and then, at the end of the day, it's not the same way anymore. It takes real guts to admit that. And when you have people out there that say those kind of things, you need to listen to them. And then sometimes even the person that's leading that tells you that kind of stuff, you got to hear them out sometime. Because they've been around you for a very long time. You know what I mean? Ain't looking into leaving and stuff like that. It's very interesting. Because I had to play both of those roles not too long ago. So it's interesting. But at the same time, it's if you got to say something, say something. And don't be surrounding yourself by a bunch of yes people, around at the same time surrounding yourself by a bunch of no people either. It's interesting. It's very interesting to look at. But that's where you go ahead and you look into the new year. A lot of people try to say, hey, new year, new me. Well, I hope you really mean it. I hope you really stand by it, because guess what? As this is year's end and all, we need to go ahead and shed off all that crap. Need to go ahead and throw all that stuff away. So, I started making good about that by, going back to my community, going back, making sure like the ones that I was there talking to, we all about to do some serious stuff this year. Made sure I talked to the Jam fam first, and then tomorrow I'm going to be talking to a whole bunch of independent filmmakers I went to college with. Because it's time to go ahead and see what everybody's doing. It's time to go ahead and get everything mixed up again. And then speaking of the Jam fam, I ran down the whole neighborhood line, sent out the J360 Jam submission rules link, along with other rules about how to be involved in this whole thing. Because guess what? The rabbit hole was a lot further than I thought. There's more and more people than I knew. And then I realized there's some people I haven't even talked to since, like, first season. You know what I mean? Like when the whole Jamiversary thing was going on and everything. Like the first Jam, there were people I haven't talked to since the first Jamiversary, and I was like, oh my God. And this is my fault because, like, this one was on me because I was working on developing other things and trying to get to other social media networks to grow the brand out instead of just going ahead and cultivating what I had. See how things play a trick on you? After all I said in the beginning of this episode, this is what I'm leading to on it. Like, for real, I was like, oh my God. So, while I'm hashing it out, working out with some of these people about this, I also got to let them know, like, the best way to keep this thing cultivated right now would be email. So, definitely use the J360productions at outlook.com whenever necessary, right? And also, like, for the subject, put the show's name that you're referring to in the subject. That way I know what you're talking about. You know what I mean? Because here's the thing. Communication will always be key. I don't care what it is. I don't care what natural language you speak. I don't care what any of that kind of stuff is. That's your way of using it. Then go ahead and talk. Because I'll listen. We need to go ahead and do that stuff. Like, it's time to go ahead and make that work. That's the only way it's ever going to be really effective. And you see, the thing is, the reason why I ain't with a certain someone anymore is because of bad communication. See what I'm saying? And it's like, one way or another, they'll get that whole thing. Like, some of the people that that are really, really bad at communication, they won't find out until, like, you're not there anymore communicating with them. And the truth is that, see, I was gifted with this great charisma, this great personality, this awesome speaking voice that is soothing you in your ears right now. Yes. And this person, somewhere along the line fell apart. But that's because somebody else was probably talking in that ear. So if anything else, that's just the way that go. That's the way that be sometime. And people are ridiculous for this because, see, like, once again, I took note of a lot of my flaws. I take note of my flaws a lot because I'm dealing with them most of the time. And then, like, as are you dealing with your flaws. That is, unless you put, like, a blind eye up to them or whatever, and some of y'all do that too. It's a coping mechanism, baby, as they like to say, but at the end of the day, you're only hurting your damn self with that. You might as well look at, like, all the raw and real about yourself, because if you're the leader of something and, you got people who are counting on you and you got to be responsible every damn day of the week, and I'm not talking about the weeks when you're on air. I'm talking about off air, too. You really got to look at your damn self. To which I do. And that's why I was like, let's go ahead and fix this. Let's work on all of this right here. And, not only that, as I said on the mini bites about reconnecting with an old friends, I did reconnect with some of those artists, too, that I was talking to. I was like, oh, my God. You know what I mean? But it's just one of those kind of things that you do. Now, some people you can't keep up with, and I don't mean like can't keep up with, not in a competitive way, because I can keep up with the best of them. But I'm talking about, like, keep up with, like, I'm not going to say anything. You know what I mean? And that's just the weirdest thing about people. But, I can only imagine, if they haven't listened to this episode, or they haven't listened to a state-of-the-art episode, or if they haven't listened to, like, a Hangouts episode, I wouldn't be surprised who isn't pissed. Because, we bring about that comedy flavor. Usually, like, when I see something that needs to be talked about, oh, yeah, let's make fun of that crap, For all the right reasons. But, people can't handle comedy, but they love to tell you about how sad they are. People can't handle love, but they like to tell you about the stuff they hate, don't they? You see the irony of it all. Now. How about normalizing variety? How about allowing different conversations? How about allowing multiple platitudes about different things? Like allowing things to, that you don't like. How about getting stronger about having that communication instead of an echo chamber? I mean, I could go ahead and make a list of things that need to get done, but God, that'd be a very long episode, and I only got you for 30 to 45 minutes, It's just very interesting. Say okay, a lot of people loved Elden Ring this year, right? That was Game of the Year. I mean, rightfully so, that game's pretty friggin' epic. But Sonic Frontiers was on the road to go ahead and knock that out. It was in the same category. Remember that. You see what I'm saying? And a lot of people try to discount Sonic out, too, because, Sonic's not good in 3D. Sonic's not blah, 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 blah. Or any sort of IGN article that came out before even IGN had to make a video saying that they were wrong about Sonic. Yeah, that came out this year, too. Very surprising, considering, the ones that are involved had to make a video about that. I think, Sonic is a pop culture icon. If you think about it, he was everywhere in the 90s, and then, leading up to now, granted, he shares space with Mario from time to time, but the thing is, it's and I don't mean it like that. I mean, of course, they always were competing, but I'm talking about, how he's always on a Nintendo product, and it's still kind of weird to me to this day. But it's the truth is that you can't take it from him that he's still relevant because he's still got new games coming out. There are other mascots and, flash in the pan kind of characters that are not getting sequels until much, much later. Remember Gex? I think Gex only had 2 to 3 games, and then he shows up whenever he needs to show up, I guess. But Crash is still around, Spyro's still around, but then there's certain characters, they came a little bit later though. At the tail end of the Mascots with Attitudes era. I'm looking for Arrow the Acrobat to come back. He was pretty cool. He was Sunsoft's guy for the longest time, and I heard Sunsoft is actually coming back. So it's very, very interesting. Or we could have, Mega Man. Mega Man needs to friggin' come back. For a while there, Capcom was teasing us with that. They were yeah, we got some Mega Man announcements for you. I was ooh, Mega Man 12? And then guess what? Nope. Even better, though, Mega Man Battle Network's finally getting on all the modern systems, and I'm about to put my pre-order in for that. Oh, yes. April, I'm getting that, boy. And then I'm still waiting on the release date for Tekken 8. And then, of course, Street Fighter 6. But this is 2023 stuff here, so, either way, that's stuff for the Power Play, and which, by the way, there is a Power Play special coming up on Sunday. Yep, this Sunday, you're going to get one. And it's going to be pretty fun to do. I'm going to see how long I can do it for. Hopefully I got, nobody bothering me. Schedule's all cleared out so I can go ahead and do this up. So that should be really, really cool, if anything. And then, it's New Year's Day. Because, like I say, we're going to make an impact this coming year. I ain't worried about too much. And if you guys want to join me on it, I'll let you know in case you didn't see the schedule. But it will happen on Twitch. Yep. Twitch.tv/J360TV. You guys are getting a Power Play special on Sunday. And then anybody that's been on the show with me or actually likes the game, I mean, once again, fire up that email. Let me know about these things so we can all game together. The best thing we can do is communicate about it. Which, it's funny because I've been looking for people to race against. I've been looking for people to fight against. I've been looking for people to actually do some Halo matches with. Yeah, look, I know how I was in that one Halo skirmish, but here's the thing. I've gotten better since, and not to mention, I'm always looking for people to actually collaborate with. It might not work out with that little toxic group, but it'll probably work out with a better group. And not to mention, when you're having fun, that should be the overall spectrum about things anyway. I thought about this too. I was remember when content creating used to be fun? When you were streaming and stuff, that used to be fun. Even when I was doing J360 Radio in the beginning, I didn't get paid for it. But when I started getting paid for doing it, it was okay. But at the same time, it's I love it enough to keep doing it. That's what it is. Money you can always get. I wish they would tell you all that, but, they don't want you to know that. But, like, when you really love something, you're not really working. You're just doing it up. Things didn't start becoming work until jams came into my life. Because, not only that, I had to go ahead and make sure, like, not only am I together and my voice is fine, but I also got to make sure, like, where I'm going with the tracks and all that kind of stuff. And make sure people send me their tracks on time. Huh? How about that? Let's go ahead and work on that whole idea about the deadlines and crap, huh? Yeah, y'all want to talk to me about, like, dedication and work, huh? No. You get your damn tracks in by Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern before the damn show starts, and maybe then we'll see if you made the cut, man. Of course, just kidding on all that, somewhat. Because you see, the thing about it is, it takes time to actually build a jams episode. Like I said, whereas it takes time to build, like, all of the shows, some, you kind of have your Lion Voltron where it's just 5 lions and it comes together as one beautiful mecha machine. Kind of like how the Power Rangers got the Megazord. But you see, like, Jams is more or less like the damn Ultra Zord. You got to go ahead and have not only the 5, but you also got to have Dragon Zord and you got to have Titanosaurus over here, and then you got to open them all up, have them all stack onto each other, and become beast mode for that moment. You know what I'm saying? And then, like, it gets more and more complicated, kind of like the 15 vehicle Voltron that really nobody liked. Okay, some of you did, but not too many of y'all cared for that one. You liked the other Voltron where it was the 5 lions because it was legendary. You know what I mean? But what I'm saying is that each and everything has its components. And then, like, the components there are necessary, which is, like, why, like, why it can be kind of tough to carry sometimes. But I do love doing that series, though. I don't have a problem with doing Jams. Did you know Jams was actually on its way to getting nominated in the Webby Awards? I was on my way throwing that over there, baby. It was going to be in the podcast category. And you know what? I think we could have won that damn thing. Until I realized how much it costs for, like, to be in the damn thing. I was like, not only do I have to send a nominal fee, I have to also send like $500 in order to campaign with that. And I'm like, damn. Sure, I thought if you stole something, it was free, But we were well on our way with that. But, any sort of award ceremony that comes our way, it definitely needs to be shared with the Jam fam, and it definitely needs with Jams at the forefront. Now, those of you asking me, hey, well, what about the J-Man Show? The J-Man Show has its own friggin' awards, baby. Matter of fact, I think we just crossed, 5,000 downloads on this thing? Or 10,000, something like that? But either way, it's like, I'm not really worried because, like I say, it wins its own awards. And, Spreaker lets me know the achievements from time to time, too. So, yeah. I wish it would do it in that cool Xbox way where it would, like, pop up and tell me that I did something and then go away. But, it is what it is. And then, like, all of J360 TV is going to do fine once that gold button gets here. So, if anything, I'm just looking at my trophy case and I'm like, hey, let's just put them in there. But I also got to remember the mission must always continue, no matter what. Same thing for, like, if you're going to improve your looks or if you're going to improve your waistline or whatever this year. However you guys want to go ahead and do, like, the new year and all that stuff. It's entirely up to you. But at the same time, don't let trinkets and baubles distract you from going ahead and tell you why you're on this thing. It's just like if a whole bunch of e-girls came up and they were happy to see that the power play was back and all that stuff. I'd be like, yeah, that's cool. And then just keep on playing. And probably invite them to game and all. But wouldn't have a problem with it. The only thing I'd have a problem with, basically, would be... Well, I can't think of it right now. I'm in such a good mood. I don't really care about my problems. But the thing about it is, though, it's like, being open and just saying, hey, let's just all have a good time. That's what it should be about anyway. And, like, what sort of impact are we leaving for this culture, And without, once again, giving it to clout. That's the whole thing. Which, by the way, I had to take a little break for Arizona right there. But yeah, I was sitting there thinking about all of that while I was constructing this week's event of things, Like, every single piece of content this week is going to be, We're saying goodbye to the old, and we're opening up for the new, and I just want everybody else to get the hell out of my way. See what I'm saying? Got to carry this on. And see, the funny part about it is, like, there were some people telling me, oh, you ain't got her no more. You don't have her in your life no more. And I'm like, yeah, and I've been a lot lighter since about it. I mean, this is the funniest thing, because people will come up and try to, you know, like, if there's a target on you, and usually there is, especially when you're content creating, or especially when people know that you're content creating and all that stuff, they try to aim for that target on you every time, which is why, like, when I was looking at some of them other YouTube videos about past YouTubers that lost their mind because they were content creating and all, and it's because they just couldn't handle it anymore. Well, this is why, like, the same time when you take little breaks like that, it's fine. Take your break, but come back. Like, really, really annoy the living hell out of people. Really get them in a frenzy when you do come back, because, like I say, there's always somebody afraid of you when you come back or when your numbers climb and all that jazz. And the beautiful part is that my numbers are climbing, baby. Like, I'm loving the way the growth is. I'm like, yo, this is okay. And even then, it's like, you know, all the stuff that I've done, I never went through what's her name to go ahead and do all that stuff. It was already here. Do you see what I'm saying? So the funny part is when people try to aim for that angle and stuff like that, and knowing full well all you got to do is either parry it or roll with it, and the funny part is you can even counter them with a left or a right if you know what you're doing. And I got a lot of rights to live up to and a lot of lefts to throw, so yeah, I'm all about it. And, like, you know, it's just been pretty fun. It's been pretty interesting and open, as it always has been. But I'm liking it. Loving the growth on things. Like, even as I'm sitting here talking to you right now, you do realize that the next big event that we have for J360 Productions is technically Jamiversary. So it's good to be in growing and cultivating the jams community. And not only that, the jams opportunity is open to all musicians. So even certain musicians that probably won't respond back, or even certain musicians that, you know, look at the email and be like, oh, well, who the hell is J360 Radio anyway? And you know what? At the same time, be like, that would be me, pal. Oh, yeah, I need that press, yo. I'll be popping up in there and be like, yeah. That is mine. This is the whole thing right here. Would you like to be on J360 Jams? You know? And if you would like to be on J360 Jams, I do have the submission link right down here in the bottom of the description. Matter of fact, from here on out, all J360 shows will have that link at the bottom, because this is open to all musicians. That's what Jams is for. Just like how Project Conference is going to be open for all content creators. Even other podcasters, even people I don't like. And I'll tell you on the show I don't like you. I don't give a damn about you.
Don't believe him.
Okay, well, it is open to all content creators. Yeah, you at least let me have that one, right? You know, it's one of them kind of things that you got to know about, see? And as I throw that out to you, and as Project Conference becomes its own series, because it's going to be in the one-shots file for a little while longer until it gets its bearings. All right? And speaking of one-shots, yeah, you got another one of those coming tomorrow. And we're going to do a top 10 countdown. And this will be like a bit of a way to go ahead and say goodbye to 22. But you see, it's also because I'm not doing an end-of-the-year special this time, technically. See, like I say, because if not, this would have been a Jams week. And it's not a Jams week, for one. And another thing is because Space Force is also doing a nice special for end of the year. And it happens at 8 o'clock, twitch.tv/Space Force Music. Definitely check that out, because quite a bit of people in the Jam fam are going to be on it. And I figured, you know, in a nice little party like that is the perfect time for me to go ahead and watch Space Force do what he does, along with a few other people in the Jam fam, while I'm sitting back and I'm a spectator. You know what I mean? But that being said, though, this is what I'm going to do to also help out. I'm going to also take that same footage, and I'm going to go ahead and put it on j360productions.com so that you all can watch it as well. See what I'm saying? Because I don't know if Twitch still does the auto-hosting or the hosting and stuff, but if there's a way I can go ahead and make it pop up on J360 TV, I'll do that too. You know why? Because that is my team That's my community right there. I think Celestial Mollywop, Firkenstein, Dark 83, just to name a few. Neon Sweatsuit. Yeah, quite a bit of the people that I know are on this thing. So, I'm right behind them every step of the way. And if I forgot anybody off that list, because I'm going from memory right now, I apologize. But you have not been forgotten entirely, if you get my drift. But yeah, see, with that going on, I'm like, this is okay. Because I don't do jams on Saturday except for that one incident where I had to. Or actually twice, because Jams 1 premiered on a Saturday. But hey, that's history. You know what I mean? But all in all, the last bit you're probably going to get from me from 2022 is tomorrow. So, yeah. And then, as I watch Space Force do what he does on Saturday, and then, go ahead and see the ball drop, I'm just going to chill out. Which is what a lot of y'all should do, too, So, yeah, spend time with family, watch the Space Force stream, and going ahead about my merry little way. Until Sunday, when I got to do the Power Play special. But either way, it'll be cool, Speaking of which, though, a lot of y'all asked me about Hangouts. Hangouts can have guests, too. I would like to say this. The fourth seat on Hangouts, because usually it's me, Marco, and Al. That fourth seat will always be open. And then who knows, maybe we'll expand the roster a few times. But here's the thing. Fourth seat's always open. Just go ahead and email me about it, and then I'll fill you in on how Hangouts work. Because it's going to be a lot different than what Project Conference was. Alright? But all in all, though, as I go ahead and I propose, you got to look over and see if it's good for you, and then that way we can go ahead and conduct some business around here. It is J360 Productions, after all. I mean, looking back, 20 to 21 to 22, it hasn't been bad. Just changes had to be made. But yeah, I'm still all about this. But all in all, though, remembrance of everything, the most important remembrance is, if you've been a fan of me this long, I thank you and I appreciate you. If you have been about the J360 Legion for this damn long, give yourself a pat on the back, because, hey, we made it. Yep, you all deserve that. You all deserve that, because we friggin' made it through all these troubled times. We always came around every week, you know what I mean? There are moments where I had to use the alt schedule, but, this show has always been on Wednesdays. It's going to continue to be on Wednesdays. And, from where we're going to go and what we're going to do next, people know when they hear this.
J360 Radio!
So, I mean, a lot of great history was made here, and, there's just going to be much, much more to come. And then, of course, about Jam 60, and a lot of y'all need to know this. Jam 60 is happening next week, January 6th. And we're just going to have a great time on that date, even though that date already has enough excitement in its history for years to come. But yeah, definitely, think about it. 60s on a 6. You know what I'm saying? Wow, isn't that a channel on XM Radio? Now I think about it. Yeah, I think it is. But whatever. The whole point about it is that, guess what? That's a milestone episode. A big mega mix is coming. So you just got to look forward to that, because, as always,
Fridays belong to jams.
You know what I mean? So this would be a pretty cool calling of coming together here. And if you really want to submit your tracks in, your deadline is January the 5th. Those tracks have to be in January 5th at 5 p.m. Eastern. Okay? And that being said, you don't have to wait until the deadline to do such a thing. You can go ahead and send them in early. You can send them in tomorrow if you want. But hey, I'm just letting you guys know about this stuff. And the week after Jam 60 will be J360 Jams TV 5. Okay? So I'm going to try to go ahead and get that alternative, way with the jam stuff. So it'll be pretty cool to see exactly what videos are on the list, because we only have, 5 now? So yeah, I need 5 more. But all in all, though, I got to get off this thing. And it was good talking with y'all, So we'll be back with the one-shot tomorrow. And the beautiful part about the one-shot is, just like the Christmas one, you can actually call in and give a nice message of what you want for the new year or what resolutions you want to do. I'll leave it open to you. But all in all, though, you'll have to check and see what's going to happen tomorrow at 10, okay? All right. Well, this is J-Man signing off. Take care of yourselves, and I will see y'all then. Peace.
Superstart Battery Month at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Get up to a $25 gift card after rebate with the purchase of select Superstart batteries. Our professional parts people will test your old battery for free and recommend the right battery for your vehicle. For power, performance, and reliability, choose Superstart batteries only at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Oh, 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 O'Reilly Auto Parts.